we are going to talk about this Breitling Navitimer. So I had a little bit of trouble finding this particular reference number on Chrono 24. These were manufactured between 2003 and 2011. And what I love about this particular Breitling is that this is not a reissue. Again, this was around the time Breitling was being brought back to life. And this was a watch that has remained in their catalog for the duration of that time. And what I mean by that is that the Navitimer has been part of the Breitling heritage for a really long time. And I actually would say that this is one of the most, if not the most, recognizable pilot chronograph on the market. The IWC pilot chronograph is going to give it a run for its money. You can argue that the Speedmaster is a pilot watch also, even though we think pilot, we think more astronauts. So when I think about recognizable pilot watch that I've seen used in the field, seen on pilots before, this is one of the coolest watches I think that's on the market. So I was really excited to add this one to the collection. These are a little bit hard to come by, at least I don't see them pop up as often. And this is I made a mistake on my State of the Collection video saying that this was the in-house movement. This is a highly modified Valjoux 7750. And the reason why I say highly modified is, one, usually you're going to have a different set of chronograph registers. You're going to have it at 12, 9, and 6. Here you see that it kind of mirrors the same layout that you're going to find on the Daytona or the Speedmaster for that matter, and you're going to have it at 9, 6, and 3. So they essentially shift the Valjoux 7750 movement. This does not have a quick set date because of that. However, you do get the hack in seconds, which is really cool. So that allows you to really precisely sync this to a reference time, and that is one advantage I think this have over the Omega Speedmaster Professional, the manual wound version. This is a busy dial. I actually quite enjoy busy dials. That is one of the reasons why I got this watch, and this is busy for a very specific reason. So more on that later, as you might be wondering, what are these different numbers around the bezel? It's not a tachymeter like we usually see on a lot of different chronographs. The reference on this is A233-2212-B635, and the B635, I think these are really important with Breitling Navitimers because the sizes on these can vary. You have the brilliant ones that you can find at about 38, 39 millimeters, but you also have some Navitimers that go all the way up to 46 millimeters, which is a bit thick for me. So I love that this is like the perfect size. It's just under 42 millimeters, coming in at 41.8 millimeters, and we'll get a couple really nice wrist shots. I have currently been wearing this on a NATO from Bark and Jack, this mustard rib strap, and I actually think it looks incredible. 41.8 millimeters, 14.6 millimeters thick, and you're going to get a 22 millimeter lug. So a lot of different options that you have for straps, and at 14 millimeters thick, even with the NATO strap, this one doesn't add too much thickness. It probably gets me around 15 millimeters thick, all said and done, which is definitely bearable for me. But I really love the way this looks on the wrist. I think it looks incredible with this particular strap. We get 30 meters of water resistance, so while not a diver, you can feel safe being able to go swim in this watch. And I love the case design, nothing fancy, it's all high polished, but because again, you're not getting something that's really thick or really bulky, it can really do a good job getting away with that lug. You get some little bit of beveling. Mine has a few little scratches on the lugs, but I love these smaller lugs on this watch. I just like this overall case design. It is very unique. You don't see a lot of watches with this particular case design. So we talked earlier about the busyness on the dial. This is equipped with a slide rule, and we're going to talk a little bit about why this is probably one of the more practical complications that you can find on a chronograph today. A little bit of nuance, so you have to know a few things or assume a few things for this to work, but it's actually, once you understand it, is a very simple way to do some quick math. So let's say that we're going out to dinner, you're taking some friends out to dinner, and we're going to go hit a very fancy dinner. So it's 5 of us, and we're going to spend about $550. So on the slide rule, you do need to have some general understanding of what your answer is going to be, and then you also need to understand that none of these numbers, the decimal, don't matter. So where you place the decimal, you just have to make sure you stay consistent with that. So we have this large tab, and we're going to say we're going to spend $550. And so the kind of the basis we're going to use. We're going to turn this red 10 all the way over to the 550, and we're using this red 10 to have some basis as an answer, because again, if we had a $550 tab, this 55 is going to represent $550 for us. And so if you were tipping 10% on $550, you would actually be tipping $55. So if you wanted to tip 20%, you can see that we land on the 11 right there. So that inner bezel is what we're shooting for, which would be at a 0, so it's going to be $110. If you wanted to say tip 15%, and again, not exactly lining up, that's why you have to have some general idea. So 15%, we would be around $80, $84, $85 if we want to tip 15%. So just a really quick, practical way for you to do this. The fastest way for you to be able to figure out how much to tip is pulling out your iPhone. So flipping the watch over, again, you get to see really cool engravings, the reference number. We have a engraving of another, I think what this would be a slide rule. Again, I am not going to be using all these features on a regular basis. I just really like the design of this particular watch. This is another one of those watches that I kicked myself. I bought a lot of different watches over the years, really trying to find something similar to this. I had a Breitling coat for a while, and that one didn't stay in my collection because I've always really enjoyed the Navitimer. I actually owned the Citizen watch, and it was because this was back when I wasn't buying Swiss watches at that point in my collecting time. It was a brown Citizen, and I really loved the business of the dial. It didn't have the slide rule, but it kind of looked like that. And I remember I saw a silver and black one in the wild, the silver and black Citizen in the wild, and I actually thought it was a Navitimer. And so that got me, and I was in my collection for a couple years. That scratched my itch for a while, but I was really excited to add the official Navitimer to the collection. This is my only Breitling in the collection. My wife is actually a huge Breitling fan, so she was really excited to see a Breitling come into the collection. And this is one that would stay, that I imagine is going to stay here for a while. So I usually don't do a lot of unboxing videos, so this is not going to be an unboxing video, but I wanted to show some of the cool things that came with the packaging. This is it's very well done. Breitling 1884, so we're going to take this off. But a very practical, just little case. This box will probably stay put away, but if you wanted to display it, here it is. Here's the strap that I was talking about. Nothing special, I think, for a watch that cool. It needs to have something with a little bit of color, but that's just my personal preference. You do get a really heavy duty deployant clasp that I really do like. This extra strap kind of tucks underneath under there, which gives it a little bit of comfort when it's wearing it. So it's a very comfortable strap. Again, I would want something a little bit more fun. If you know me, that's customary. I'm a big strap person. What I was really impressed with was a lot of the certification that this watch comes with. So you get the international warranty card, nothing different. That's like the way that is stamped there. I thought the certificate was cool that you get, that it comes with a slide rule instrument. So that's probably would have been the easier way to show you all how this works. It's a fun little thing. Instructions for how to use the slide rule, which is awesome. And then just your standard book.
If you haven't done so already, thank you for clicking on this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. This is Jimmy. I'll see y'all soon.